This is the Trailblazers Podcast, Episode 2, with Dwayne Watkins.
5 years from now, they can look back and have this authentic memory of what their day was like. They'll look back and they'll remember, and they'll see an image of the husband, whispering into the bride's ear. She's going to remember exactly what he was saying in that moment. And that's what my picture's about, having that emotional representation of a love that couple share.
You're listening to the Trailblazers Podcast, where we will explore the stories of successful Black professionals. Join us as we highlight the knowledge, resources, and tools of these accomplished trailblazers to help provide the know-how, confidence, and motivation you need to blaze your trail. And now, here's your host, Stephen Hart.
I am so excited to introduce today's super special guest, Dwayne Watkins of TeamDWP Studios. Dwayne is one of the best wedding and lifestyle photographers this world has ever seen. He captures emotions in a wedding that will have you feeling like you're actually there. The colors, the emotion, and the energy come alive in his photos. And yes, I'm very biased. Dwayne is one of my very best friends, but don't take my word for it. In the past month, Essence Magazine awarded him the Bridal Bliss Award, Best Photographer 2015, and he was selected in December Huffington Post article for 28 FairyTale Wedding Photos that capture the magic of love. Beyond his accolades, Dwayne is an amazing person that I knew would be a terrific guest for this show because of his drive, his ambitious but humble character, and just being an all-around great guy. So without further delay, Mr. Dwayne Watkins, welcome to the show, my brother.
Wow, man. Wow. Listen to that. Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here. I'm excited. I can't believe this is where we are in life right now. I mean, if you think about where we're coming from, this is all icing on the cake for me, This is all icing on the cake for me. How you doing?
Well, I'm good, man. Thank you so very much for joining us on today's session. It means a lot to have you on as one of our very first guests.
Oh, thank you, man. I'll do anything for you, man. We're brothers for life, so let's do it.
So you know this, but for our community, it wouldn't be right if I didn't set the stage. Dwayne is, as I said a moment ago, one of my lifelong friends. We actually attended the same high school in Kingston, Jamaica. Big up to our fellow SDGC alum.
Yep, AMDG, yep.
But we became friends in 94 at Miami-Dade Community College. It was back then, I think I remember seeing the first picture you took that really stood out as something different to me. I think, if you recall, it was like an ordinary box of thumbtacks you'd spread over this blacktop.
Yeah, man.
You remember this?
Yeah, man. You keep talking about that thumbtack picture for years. I mean, I
tell you. Well, I remember thinking back to that pic that, it could be sold to like an ad agency or something for a magazine ad graphic. And back then I knew you had the it factor, but
man, back then no matter what I was studying in college or in university, there's always something nagging at me that there was something more to it. You grew up knowing you have to go to college to pursue the potential different careers. Nobody tells you, hey, there's an option for photography. You really can't tell your parents, hey, I want to be a photographer, because that's not guaranteed. That's not the typical lawyer, doctor, or, IT person. But there's always something nagging at me. So, that's when I started to, buy those disposable cameras. I spent lots of the little money that I had on disposable cameras and just taking as much pictures that I could. And that's what gave me joy. That's what gave me fun. That's what gave me stress relief. Me and my disposable cameras, because that's what we could afford. And the funny thing is,
you're giving up your age.
Hey, they still sell disposable cameras, man.
That's right.
So, I'd take these pictures, and we still couldn't have money we didn't have money to develop the film. And, it's not digital, so it would sit there for months, until eventually you got money and developed them, and then you'd see, what you took. So it started from a long time ago. People think that this thing has been since, a couple of years, but it hasn't been. It's been a long time coming, and only foundational people like you, know about those stories. Before there was a TeamDWP,
Back when there was a love yard.
Let's not talk about the love yard.
Listen, I could easily see the session going way over on time, so I'm going to do my best to stick to the show format, but our community already feels, the energy. And, before we get going into the conversation, I want to give you a couple minutes just to tell the Trailblazer community a little bit more about you and your background.
Right. Well, as you know, I'm a wedding and lifestyle photographer, and with a passion for capturing true love. However, that's not my background. My background is actually in management information systems. That's what I studied at FIU, Florida International University. I left FIU and started managing networks for several multinational companies, both here in Florida, New York, and in Europe. And that was my passion for a long time. I mean, I think you remember me building computers for my friends who couldn't afford to buy computers, but that was my passion a long time. But what happened is that the photography that I keep mentioning started to impact that full-time job. It started to impact that full-time job where one is kind of going over on the other one. And it came a point where I had to make a decision on what I'm going to do. Are you going to keep living that 9 to 5, or are you going to step out and trust God and pursue your passion, pursue what you know is your purpose and your passion?
That's awesome. Who are some of the people who inspired you to get into photography?
People ask me that all the time. I mean, photography was something I was always interested in. I said that, I spent a lot of my little money buying disposable cameras. But I eventually linked up with a friend of mine who was already doing it as a serious hobby. Big up to Michael Ernie Hall. He kind of guided me initially. But, I've always looked up to people who were doing it big. Because I believe if you want to do something, look at somebody who's doing it big. Look at somebody who has met the mark, who is doing great things. So I always thought Jasmine Starr, Elaine Martinez, Jessica Clare, all those people, not only already doing it and were successful and are good people, but they actually did the style of photography that I could appreciate, that I thought was real. And that's me. I always wanted to capture images that have this incredible emotional representation of people, beauty, and trends. That was me. I wanted to make sure that my pictures were always emotional.
I've always been curious. Is there anyone who mentors you today?
Oh, man. People see us now and they think that there's this big machine behind us of tons of staff and mentors. And, I've never really had that. I've never really had the life where, I need to go see my mentor this week. I've just had this burning desire to be the best. I remember we learned in college that, you always need to be aware of your competition, know what your competition is up to. I never went that option. I never went with that road. I went with what my grandmother told me. She said, Dwayne, just go out there and do your best. And that has been my motivation every time I pick up that camera. I have to do the best. I have to do the best. I have to know that, getting close enough is not good enough for me. We have to hit that mark that we're called to hit every single day. So I've never really had a mentor. I have people who I kind of look up to from a distance in the industry, but I know my goals. I know my focus. I know what I need to do. Mm-hmm. So let me regress. Outside of you, Stephen, outside of you. Yeah, but that's been me, man. My passion drives this thing, and there's a lot more to this photography thing than just capturing it. Marriages are constantly under attack, and we're here. I'm here to ensure that we try to save as many marriages as possible. That's why we have to give our lives every single time we pick up this camera to capture people's once in a lifetime day, and that's my focus. That's
awesome.
Absolutely.
So I know you get up in the morning, you're a gym rat, but besides that, are there daily rituals you have to sharpen your mind?
Man, I'm not even a gym rat. Don't get me wrong. I hate the gym, but I love the results. It's kind of conflicting. So I go, I get it done, and I continue with life. Daily rituals, I consider myself a thinker. I'm always deep in thought about everything surrounding my family and everything for my passion of photography. That's where everything lies right now. I'm constantly trying to find that balance between work and play and family. So probably my daily rituals is, always making sure, thinking about the future, thinking about the next 5 years, thinking about what I want to achieve for my family. And having a family now gives me great focus and, desire to even be greater, to provide for my daughter, because I have a daughter now. So
that's right.
Yep.
What are some of the big lessons you've learned as a photographer and as a businessman?
Well, let me step back and kind of tell you the story of kind of how we got here, because, everyone sees it now, right? No one really knows about the struggle that it takes to step out of the norm to pursue your dream, as an entrepreneur. I'm there in my full-time job, and I'm at the point now where business starts to come in for photography. And I'm like, you know what? You can't be great at something and not do it full-time, right? So I said, I'm going to resign. I have 3 months' salary saved up. I should be good. I'm going to resign, hit the ground running. In 3 months, I should be great. 3 months' salary saved up. Remember that. This was in November. So handed in my 2-week resignation, boldly set up my little studio in my townhouse, and 3 months came and went. Not one phone call. Not one photography shoot, nothing happened. I'm eating sardines and tuna every single week. And I'm like, God, what is this? You led me to believe that, these things would happen so well. But the thing is, I made a promise to myself that I'd never update my resume again. And, I remember we spoke about, competition, that I always focused on just doing my best. And one of the successes, or one of the things that people ask, why are you so successful? It's not necessarily a secret sauce type of thing. It's very simple. I give my couples the confidence to have the freedom to love each other, so I can capture the rest. I tell my brides all the time, loving your husband, have him love you back, and we'll capture the rest. I focus on capturing the emotion of my couples. It's that moment, Stephen, right before or right after the kiss. To me, that's more important than the technical aspects of photography. I know photographers, even some of them are my friends, that the sun has to be right, at the right point in the sky, the lighting has to be perfect, the pose has to be editorial. Me, none of that matters. True love matters to me. Saving marriages matters to me.
That's great, D. Was there ever a decision or defining moment that you consider to be a significant one on that journey?
Yeah, man. Let me tell you, giving up that 9 to 5, giving up that guaranteed paycheck, that is the scariest thing in life. Because, when you have a 9 to 5, you can call in sick and you're still going to get your paycheck. With this, you have to beat that ground every single day. You have to swing for the fences daily, man, to hit that home run, right? There's no guaranteed. If I'm not up at 4:30, 5 o'clock working, that paycheck is not going to come, and you have to understand in the industry that I'm in, wedding photography is the hardest style of photography you can choose. It's different every single week. It's new people, new emotions, a different type of love. It's different every single week. It's not something that you can ever get used to. So
the template.
Absolutely. You can't say, I shot this couple last week, it should be easy. No, it's different every single week. In addition to that, this is no redos. This is once in a lifetime. This is one shot, one kill. That's it. You don't get a chance to do over it. So it's the hardest type of photography, but let me tell you, it's absolutely the most rewarding. I live for that moment when that bride calls me screaming, "Oh my God, I love my pictures." And that right there is what I live for. That's fulfilling to me. That makes me know it's a job well done. They're excited about their pictures, and 5 years from now, they can look back and have this authentic memory of what their day was like. They'll look back and they'll remember, and they'll see an image of the husband, whispering into the bride's ear. She's going to remember exactly what he was saying in that moment. And that's what my picture's about, having that emotional representation of a love that couples share.
What if you had to, attribute success to just 3 reasons, 3 reasons why you've risen to this level of success today?
What is it? Philippians 3:14 says, "I press on towards my mark to which God has called me." I believe, Stephen, that God has called me to do this. I pray about my journey every day, and I practice. You can't do something every day and not get better at it. I believe in that's good enough. I don't believe in that. I need to hit my mark every single time. I live for that bride calling me excited, and I always told people that, I don't shoot for photographer's approval. I shoot for my clients. My work is a representation of my passion combined with the love that my couples share. So it's so funny, it's so much easier to get into the business now than when I started. Things are a lot less expensive right now. I had to save up to buy cameras and that type of thing. A 20-year-old can simply go and buy a camera and then, add photography to the end of his name. But 3 reasons. I work hard and I have a lot of attention to detail. I practice often. Nothing beats repetition. It's about talent versus skill, right? Talent you have naturally. Skill you develop by constant repetition. I mean, Stephen, you know it. While other people are sleeping, you're working. While other people are taking days off, you're working. There's no easy way at this, Stephen. No matter how talented you are, your talent is going to fail if you're not skilled. I like Bruce Lee, right? And one of his famous quotes was that it says, I fear the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once. No, it says, I do not fear the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. That's what it is. It's constant repetition, constant practice, constant hitting that mark and being great. And, I pray. I accept that I'm nothing without God, and I rely on his guidance daily. I mean, I still get nervous every time I shoot a wedding. And some people are like, but you've been doing this for years. Why get nervous? Because I realize and I accept that there's something greater than me that's doing this thing. You have to remember, I didn't go to school for this thing. This is something natural, a God-given talent. So I know I have to rely on him constantly to guide me, to give me inspiration, to give me that connection with my clients to be able to bring out the best.
Right.
So that's
you said, the responsibility you have
absolutely
for that one day, right?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So you have to realize that you have to rely on something greater than yourself. It's not about us. It's not about us. I mean, when I was getting into this thing, I always prayed that, help me to use this talent, for a greater good. And, this is what I've been doing. So, and, you keep mentioning success. We're working on it. We've achieved some stuff, but we have a long way to go. We have much more that we need to do, so many more, rewards, so many more challenges. And even in the challenges and the pitfalls, I wouldn't change a thing because all that has led me to this point, and we're grateful. We're grateful even in the valleys, right? You have to pray. You have to be happy and be praising in the valleys just as much as you are in the mountaintops. Absolutely.
Dwayne, in the marketing world, there's a term, right? And it's called a USP, a unique selling proposition. So I want to ask, what's in it for a bride? What's in it for your customer that they can't get with any other photographer? What's that DWP difference? You touched on some of it before, but how do you define that?
Man, let me tell you, to experience DWP is to know. It's not about the tech stuff or the best cameras and the lenses. I could go on and about, hey, we're using the best quality equipment on the market. There's nothing better. None of that matters. We, however, have an incredible relationship with our clients before the wedding day. They're like family and close friends by the time the wedding day comes. We don't care if it's rain, sleet, or snow, when we're capturing your wedding. We're shooting. Nothing is going to stop us. What we also try to go above and beyond on the wedding day. I mean, if you catch us on a wedding day, we're carrying bouquets. We're helping with the dress. We're making sure that the bride feels beautiful and sexy and the groom feels dapper and GQ. We want to make sure that we do our part in ensuring that they have an incredible day. I mean, there's so many different things going on the wedding day, right? And so many different people that you encounter. But we have chosen to make sure that we're doing our part to make sure that nothing messes with their day, that they have an incredible day. We want to make sure that they're so relaxed that if the bride wants a glass of water, we're getting it. Nothing is above what we need to do for our clients on a wedding day. And that's part of the DWP experience. The rest, when they book us, they'll understand.
Dwayne, I just want to take a minute to acknowledge you. You've been an exemplary photographer, businessman, entrepreneur, employer, a friend. I know you're setting the bar again, as a super cool dad. and I have so much respect for the man you've become. And, you know, I know your mom's looking down from heaven every day, smiling down on you.
Man.
I'm just so happy for what you're accomplishing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we've got a few more minutes with you, but now we want to go above and beyond like a trailblazer would. We're going to speed things up a bit here in the last couple minutes. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Give me one effective skill or technique we could add or improve on today to become better than we were yesterday.
I've been trying to read more, you know, and I've also been trying to have effective time management between work and family. I mean, I work on these things because I know I'm not the best at them. So I've been reading more, and not just reading photography related materials. I've been reading things that, you know, help build me up as a man, as a better father, and that type of thing. And also setting aside time for family, which is new for me. That's not something that I normally did. You know, I was working Christmases, holidays, birthdays, it doesn't matter. I'm trying to set aside family time.
The life balance.
Absolutely. It's so important, right? We don't want to have regrets later on that, hey, I should have spent more time with my child. You know, it's so important that you spend time with family.
That's awesome. You know how I feel about that.
Exactly. And I've been looking at you, man. You started this before I did. So you actually gave me the roadmap and how to be a great dad. So, hey, let's keep doing it. I'll keep following.
What's one book you read that moved you to take action in some way?
Man, you know, the Bible constantly reminds me to trust God and not rely on myself. And I keep reminding that because I want to make sure that people understand that this is not about me. I'm not that talented. You know, I have to trust God every single day. So because of that, I can step boldly in faith every day. And I'm not an avid reader, you know, much outside my photography material. But since becoming a dad, I've been reading lots of parenting materials. And I'm currently reading Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters, 10 Secrets Every Father Should Know by Meg Meeker. And it talks about the role of a dad for a daughter. And you know, it talks about the successes of women with a dad in the home versus successes of women without a dad in the home. And it's so important that I'm there for my daughter to ensure that she has everything, that she has that benchmark to what a man should be. She has that benchmark to how a man should be treating her and that type of thing. So I want to have an active role in the life of my child.
I can't wait to see pics of the first daddy-daughter date.
Oh, my goodness, man. She's growing up too fast, too fast.
Those are going to be the best.
Yeah.
What's something small you've done that you're proud of?
I think something small that probably has big awards that we can all be proud of is our volunteering of our time and talents for free. Some of the most rewarding and very humbling encounters have been through volunteering with kids. You know, I love children, and I've had the opportunity, you know, to always volunteer my time, you know, helping kids in every way, you know, that we can. So, you know, when we get the time, volunteering is so crucial.
I'll give you a pass on that one because that's not small. That's very big.
No, I mean,
that's very important. Right?
It's small because we all have an hour that you can volunteer your time somewhere. You know, an hour is a very small part of your day, but you can do something big with it, right? So, you know, everybody can take an hour and go do something for somebody else, help somebody else, you know, volunteer your time. And we have the incredible opportunity to do that. And we'll continue doing it because it's so rewarding, it's so humbling, and it helps you to kind of see, you know, your growth. It helps bring you back to foundation and helps you to refocus. And that's very, very important for us.
Can a future trailblazer have too many goals they're chasing at a time?
And each person has to evaluate for themselves if they want to focus on one thing or several achievements at a time. Greatness to me has no limits. Goals provide a focus and helps give you the drive to help you develop the passion to reach your mark. Your goal, ambition is great, but just don't lose sight in the chase. If you're chasing multiple goals, don't lose sight in the chase. And that would be, you know, my advice to people who, you know, are chasing several things at a time. You have to evaluate for yourself, you know, what your achievements have to be.
Name an online resource. It can be an app, software, or tool that you use every day in your business that you can't live without.
Man, I'm tied to my email and my calendar right now, as I'm sure you are. Most of my days, are spent, responding to clients, setting up meetings, admin stuff. It's photography is truly a small part of my daily routine because, we're always setting up. I mean, we're blessed that our clients are booking us about a year in advance, which means it's a lot of organization. So, we use Microsoft Outlook for email, and for my editing and stuff and, organization for my images, I'm using Lightroom. And you can't forget, we're always scrolling Instagram.
All right, bonus question.
Uh-oh.
Frosted Flakes or Honey Nut Cheerios?
Come on, man. Come on. Always Frosted Flakes. What are you talking about? Don't let my trainer hear that, though. But yeah, definitely Frosted Flakes with extra cold milk that's been in the freezer.
What do you wish you knew when you were younger that would have made you wiser and even more successful today?
Man, I get asked that all the time, what would you change? And I wouldn't change a thing. I've enjoyed the journey. I've enjoyed the successes. The successes have been great, but I'm even thankful for the failures, because they help build my character and experience, So no matter where you are today can be your springboard into your future. Don't worry about what your scenery is like around you right now. Use that as a springboard to get to where you are. It doesn't matter. Greatness is in all of us. Greatness is in all of us. You have to keep swinging for the fences every single time. Keep swinging until you hit that home run. Nothing can stop you. We're all given the same 24 hours a day. How are you going to use it?
Good advice for everyone listening. And my final question for today, is there one truth, and generally speaking, that is held constant throughout your life's journey?
Each day, God gives us a new chance. Even before our feet hit the ground, right? His mercies are new in our lives every day. So I just give thanks daily. That's been me. That's constant through my life's journey. Every success, every pitfall, I still give God, the glory for it all. So I'm just thankful. I'm thankful daily.
Dwayne, as always, you've kept it so real. Go ahead and tell our listeners where they can learn more about you, and we'll wrap things up.
Oh, absolutely. Reach out to me. My website is DwayneWatkins.com. Instagram @TeamDWP. And all my contact information is on my website, or you can send me an email at info@DwayneWatkins.com. Looking forward to hearing from everybody. I hope I was helpful and I was able to give some good advice. We have a long journey ahead of us, but we're very excited and can't wait to see what 2016 and beyond has in store.
Fantastic. Thanks again for being our guest today. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart for your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. Love you very much, man. Have a great day, and let's kick butt this year.
So there you have it, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this episode as much as we did. Please come on over to www.tbpod.com/episode2 to view the entire show notes from today's episode. Also, if this is your first time listening to our show, go ahead and subscribe on iTunes and help us by leaving an honest review. It really helps us to boost our show's rankings. Please share this episode on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or your other favorite social media platforms. Thanks so much, and have a great day.